All right, you guys. All right, so what I want to talk to you about is zodiac signs. Right now, I've been going through a lot of spiritual awakening, and I've been having to reflect back on when I first started having my spiritual awakening. Like, when did my third eye start opening? I don't know if I said this in other videos, but it really was when I started switching to a plant-based diet. Now, I know everybody's like kind of tired and burnt out about hearing that, especially people that love to eat meat. But I'm just saying what worked for me. I don't know what it will be for you. Um, but I just stick with the food because when I started eating right, like when I say eating right, I just mean like plant-based. I started studying Dr. Sebi and really being conscious of what I'm eating. And the cool thing about that though was I moved out of the diet part and I got into the science part because I really love science. I really love science. It's always fascinated me, especially genetics and biology. So when I was trying to learn about a plant-based diet, I started researching like food and like what was in this specific food, like what type of vitamins or what it was doing for my body or what it activated, what part of my body. And I started to notice that like this plant-based diet activates this alkaline, which causes a hormone to start pumping. Okay, and what it's doing is it's releasing this. Like, I know you guys always see this line in my forehead. That's a line in my forehead. That's not my third eye. But like right here, like I'm telling you, the protein and the amino acids that's in the plant-based diet is gonna go straight to your pineal gland, and your pineal gland is your third eye. So I just started like reflecting because I dipped away from that. I don't eat meat still. I'm vegetarian, I guess you would say. I don't like to put labels or control myself, but I would say that I guess a vegetarian would be the best way to put it. But before that, I was strictly alkaline vegan, and that was it. And I did that for like a year and a half. And then I think I just like it started with cheese. And once you hit cheese, cheese, I think that's really it. Like, it started with cheese, and then I was like, okay, I started eating like potato chips and certain things that you really aren't supposed to eat, and then sweets. And that's how I got hooked. But one thing that got me back on track is I've been having a lot of tooth pain. And I always, I'm saying all this because it's very important to be aware of your own body. A lot of people, our ancestors, have gone on and on and on for years and not aware of their own body. And then they find out like they have something going on, a disease developing. So I know I got something going on with my teeth. And it also helps remind me of my past life and where I came from and how I can correct things now. And I know one thing is, um, I know I'm a water creature. I believe that I was a mermaid. I believe that I was from the deep of the ocean. And so I know that might sound crazy. I'm just saying. And this is something I felt as a child, like not now. Like this isn't like, I know some people are like starting to discover like who they were like right now in 2020. Like, no, like I was literally saying this to my friends. You can ask them, like when I was like 7, 8 years old, that I was a mermaid. I know a lot of girls did that, but like I was saying it like for reals. Like, um, and one thing I know is like with pirates and things like that, like teeth are not great. And I've had my experiences with teeth. So, and I got these are my teeth. So I'm not saying that. People who know me know what I'm talking about. But my teeth have been starting to ache, and I started to notice like that I have to stop eating sweets. And it's actually like the sweets and the food is clouding my judgment, is clouding me, and like it's making me delusional. I know that sounds weird, But if you've ever like been in a situation and you have to like reflect on it and you like, damn, did I really do that? Or did it really pan out like that? Or I wish I would have did this. Excuse me. It's because you were like on autopilot while the event or the situation was taking place. Excuse me. So in your brain, you're not really there. Like you're thinking about other stuff when people talk. You're, you're like you're in your head, like, and it's obvious. So I noticed that when I really started eating the food right, like the right food, and I was making my own snacks, like really cooking, baking different things and experimenting, even making like sweet little treats that I could eat that were like coconut based and the stuff that you can have, okay? So when I started doing that, that's when I was like, oh my gosh, I love this. Like I'm experimenting, I'm learning science, and I really wanted to get back to that. And that's why I'm making this video. So the reason why I started the video off talking about zodiac signs, I'm a Pisces. And right now, more than ever, people are starting to recognize that their zodiac sign does play into their actual life. And it's funny because like I have been saying this for so long. When I was young, I was telling people all the time, and they'll be like, there comes crazy Maria, always talking about them zodiac signs. And they'll tell you, like, for real, like, that's all I would talk about. Like, even when I was talking to people, I would have to refer to their zodiac sign. And I know some people don't like that, but I can see through whatever anybody want to say. Like, some people will say, like, well, you could meet two different Leos and they act completely different. Okay, well, do you know that we have 7 chakras and you got to be on levels? Okay, so if you're meeting a low vibrational Leo who ain't got their stuff together, that's going to look completely different to a high vibrational Leo. You guys have seen a Leo. They're fierce, they're determined, they're working, they're making sure their home is stable. They're accommodating, they're compassionate. Okay, they're straightforward about stuff. They don't delve into the emotion, but they totally understand where you're coming from. And the reason why I want to talk about this is I love astrology. I love zodiac signs. So I'm 8 minutes in, so let's go ahead and get started. So let's start with Aries. Um, what I'm about to say to you is going to be strictly, like, before we start, sorry. What I'm about to say to you is going to be strictly like my own personal psychic opinion. It's not going to be something that I read off of a sheet of paper because, yes, I have read about every zodiac sign out of a book and on a piece of paper. So I'm not going to bore you with that. I'm going to just give you my introspective view of the zodiac sign. All right. So, Aries. If you are looking at an Aries woman and an Aries male, first of all, very Emperor energy, determined, straightforward. They have this quality, though, that's almost like the Scorpio, um, that spicy water quality. Only Aries is the fire. So I always try to think of like Aries is like that like hot coal that you can kind of walk on, and then you'll like hurry up and put your feet in some cold water, you know what I'm saying? And I really feel like Aries to me comes off as a very confident, assured person. Um, the Aries woman presents and shows herself very confident and assured of herself. In reality, that is all true, but also a little misguided. So the confidence that Aries is already has built in them can sometimes show that they're not as or they shouldn't have been as confident about that, if that makes sense. So sometimes they can get ahead of themselves with their confidence and come out short, but they don't try to beat themselves down. They're very get back up, keep going type of people. very straightforward. They understand the legality and the logic of what's happening. But at the same time, a low vibrational Aries can look like almost like me, a little bit of some Pisces energy. Or if they're leaning towards more of Taurus, you got to always look at their sun, moon, rising, Venus, obviously. But I'm talking about low vibrational. So if we're just looking at the sign, and you can, like I said, you can even relate this to like your moon. If you know that you vibrate really high in your moon, like a couple years ago, I was vibrating really high on my moon sign. Like, so I was watching a lot of tarot videos and they were all on my moon sign. Okay, so you can take this any way, depending on what you have in your chart. So in Aries, yeah, it can come across like that. Now, they can also come across dominant, a little bit controlling, needing things their way, very particular, Emperor energy. All right. Now, I love y'all. Let's move on to Taurus. The reason why I just did that is because on everything, I've only known a couple Aries, and I'm not trying to rationalize it on the ones that I know, but I do want to be authentic in saying that I don't know everything about an Aries, but the energy and clairvoyant, like I can feel it. And so I've been able to see through the individuals that I come across, and this is just what I've dealt with. I know one thing that an Aries can do to just improve themselves is to just be a little bit more centered in what truly drives you, what your true passion is, or what you're really put here to do. I think like Aries was like the start of everything, really, like in the Bible where we started with Aries. And I think that's sometimes why you guys feel like you're able to have full control, but at the same time, you don't know your place in this world or what you want to do yet. Okay, so that's where I'm at with Aries. Now let's go on to Taurus. So, Taurus, my son is a Taurus, and I just in the last couple days ran into three other people with the same birthday as him. And I was like, what in the world? Like his birthday just passed. It's literally today, May 10th. And I ran into these people like just within this last month. And they're the same birthday as my son. I didn't know it until I was on Facebook and I saw them post and they're the same birthday as him. And I thought that was so interesting because so Taurus, we know the stubborn bull. I'm definitely not gonna lie. That is 100% true. My son is super, super, super stubborn. Like, I'm giving you the stare, I'm giving you everything. Just shut up. And he still think you know everything. Oh my God. So, a lot of people know this, but Tauruses are definitely possessive and a little manipulative. That's not a bad thing. They don't know how to express how they feel because they are an earth sign, okay? They are really down to earth, but they're not emotional, okay? My son is very much not is he will cry and all that stuff like when he gets in trouble. But like other than that, he doesn't have time for that emotional stuff. Like and when he does feel like he wants to be loved, he'll run up and he'll like, oh, once you were so tight, and then he'll release and he'll go run into his room and he'll be done. And I'll be like, what was that? But I just started to realize that's his love language. You know, he just realizes like, oh my gosh, okay, I love my mom. Like, let me go tell her real quick. And then comes back in, goes back into his room. So, one thing that I noticed about Taurus is that you have to watch out for them. Not in a malicious way, but in a sentimental way. I've noticed, I worked with kids, and I actually had lost a child to suicide and he was a Taurus. And the thing is, because the way they look is a mask. For instance, if you do talk to a Taurus and he is not fully, he's always battling with something, but he's always like working towards something to kind of mask whatever is going on. And I've ran into a lot that are like this. So that's why I'm speaking this way. And they mask it very well. Like it's crazy. And I think that's one reason why like a Taurus and a Gemini are really good. Because they can mask how they feel so tight, because they keep working, they keep moving, and they keep doing. And it's like they're really actually fighting through something, and their emotions can get the best of them in their head, and that's where you can lose them. So that's one thing that I've noticed about Tauruses, but they're very hardworking. They're like the engineers of like if you meet a Taurus, he's going to be an engineer of something. Like he's going to be the catalyst to a movement of something, or a manager, or overseeing what's going on or how things are being done. The CEO, like that type of person. All right. He's not the one in there with the creative doing the nitty gritties. He's in there overseeing, because to him, that makes the most sense to start up top and to look down and figure out where to maneuver things. As in some people, they're not there. They're lower, not vibrationally, but they're lower in what their function is. Like a rat, okay, a rat or a mouse, okay, or an insect. Their function and what they do is strictly groundwork. It has to be. And that's important, okay, because there's also this work up here. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to say. So Tauruses are really, really important people that are going to help with this infrastructure and help revamp society, because Taurus also stands for tradition. So like if a Taurus can move in a new dynamic, then they can basically enlighten a whole new tradition and make a whole new tradition, and then people follow it because it's tradition. So they're really great overseers and what do you call them? Micromanagers. Okay. All right. So let's go on to Gemini. Jimmy. Um, what could I say about Geminis? They're crazy. They're insane. They My son's father is a Gemini. One of my best friends is a Gemini. My uncle's a Gemini. My grandma's a Gemini. Uh, a couple of my friends are Geminis. I got a lot of Geminis, okay, in my corner. My midhaven is in Gemini, and that's supposed to be one of your biggest successful places in your placement. So, if I want to say anything about Geminis, I want to say that they're very misunderstood. They're misunderstood because they are the double sword. They're put here in this illusion to show you the light in the dark, to show you the truth. And sometimes the truth comes out through deceit and lies and betrayal, but it comes out. And without those deceit, lies, and betrayal are traumatizing to the victim, us, but at the same time, they enlighten the victim on how they're not a victim and how everything they did was a choice, or every thought and action they had could actually take place. And I think that's what Gemini does. It enlightens what you don't see, okay? And that's what a Gemini will do. I will also say that Geminis are put here on this earth not only for that, but their sole purpose is to learn how to communicate. They need to learn how to use their communication skills. How do I say it? Using their communication skills effectively, proactively, kindly, um, and not reverse of what they're doing, but just knowing how to use their strengths, their wittiness, their intellect, um their, always, 10 steps ahead, using that for their own personal benefit. A lot of times Geminis will work outside because they're always thinking about their exterior, and it's almost like Geminis have to use the things that they're good at and the things that they see and know and bring it inside. And that will actually better affect their exterior. But Geminis get so caught up in their exterior that they think that once they finish their exterior or clear that, then they can do the interior. And it's like almost the opposite. So it's a real struggle for them down the line. That's just how it is. Also with like family, it family ties is a big thing with Geminis. If you've met Geminis, I tell you like 9 times out of 10, a Gemini has been traumatized. Um, Even like Trump, being a child born in a, what do you call it, a KKK family, and just with that's traumatizing. Whether he knows it or not, it's traumatizing because it revamps the way you think about the world and the way you think about people. And when I talk to a lot of people that have been traumatized, 9 times out of 10, they didn't have someone in their corner at the time of the trauma. And so they are dealing with that solo. And then they grow up and it becomes this problem, this narcissistic bullying problem. In reality, no one was there for this child. Okay. And I'm just saying this because I've met a lot of Geminis, and like I said, even my son's father's a Gemini, and it's just like I can't explain how every time I talk to one, they tell me a horrifying, traumatizing story from their childhood. And that really makes me think, like, is that their role too? The double sword, is that their double sword? Like trying to see the good in the bad when they was just given bad. Okay, so that's what I got for Geminis, but they're really supposed to be understood. And I think with 2020 coming, they will be. It just, it's going to be their time to shine, their time to show, like, I'm not two-faced, I'm not none of this, but I'm really outgoing with people. I'm really good at communicating with people. I'm a really good salesman. I really know how to persuade. Those are all skills that we need because, hello, we're in a buying and selling world. And like, I love Baby Boy, and he said that, and that's my favorite part in the movie when he tells them about this buyer and seller world. And that's where the Gemini comes in. Okay? So, move on from Gemini, let's go to Cancer. Cancers are amazing. They are my sister or brother sign, water sign. Very, very homey type of people. Love a good home. Love a good home. Candles lit, open window, great with their kids. They love doing stuff with their kids. They love feeling like a great mom, a great dad. They love working and doing everything for the home. Everything is about making sure that the home is legit and it's happy and it's everything. Like, I don't know how to explain that, but that's really what a Cancer wants. I've met so many, and every time I talk to them, it's the same thing. It's this sympathetic, but a little bit of hard. And a little bit of hard ain't even hard. It's just like a little bit of, I'm going to stand up for my home. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to stand up for the babies. I'm going to stand up for what goes with the home. Anything with the home, that's when the Cancer is going to be like, nah, you know, that wasn't right for the home. Okay? You get what I'm saying? Um, when a Cancer is happy in their home, happy in their marriage, whoo, I'm telling you right now, they're succeeding at life. Like they're excelling at work, like for real, especially a man. Um, Cancer, they're very loving, all with water signs. You know, everybody has their negatives. I'm not here to talk about the negatives. I'm just here to talk. Um, all of us have our own ways that we manipulate. It's so crazy, not to get off track. Um, but I dealt with a Sag at one point, and that's something that actually he said. So I'll go back to that when I talk about Sages. Okay. So Cancer is all about the home, and they just want to have somebody that they can love on and that will love them. Okay, move on. Leo. Leos are great pairs with Cancers, but Leos are great pairs with anybody. So anyway, so a Leo is like your top dog. Okay, that's, and I also like to say, like, you know, like Judah, like the sun, like, okay, we all know this. So with Leo, they're like the perfect match if they're vibrating where they're supposed to be. A Leo that is not vibrating where they're supposed to be probably looks like shit because a Leo has to be like, they're just designed like that. They're designed to have a job and work that job. They will literally, like, they're great pairs with Geminis too. So like they can do everything like a Gemini could do, but like be open about it. Like they could have multiple people they talk to. They could quit a job and then get another job. You know, they can do all these things that like certain signs you would get judged for, but like a Leo for some reason is super confident that makes everybody else confident in their decisions. If that makes sense. Like, I know this. I know he or she is got it. You know, like you don't have to worry about a Leo. That doesn't mean you don't talk to your strong friends, but like with a Leo, you're not going to need to worry about them. And if you do, that's when you know there was some trauma or something that's happening that's causing some emotional ruckus in the heart and mind. But other than that, you don't have to worry about a Leo. They're going to make sure that their shit is on track because they don't want nobody worrying about them. They do not like that. Okay, they want to be independent. All right. All right, moving on from Leo, let's go to Virgo. Now, Virgos are something else. I have met so many, and honestly, I love women. Okay, I don't think I could be in a relationship with a woman, but I love women. And I'm always attracted to Virgos for some weird reason. And I know one thing is I'm Virgo rising. So I don't know if that means anything, but one thing that I've really noticed about them is their insecurities play out in their dominance in the way they look at the world. So like Virgo is like the virgin. So they come in like a virgin. And it's like, girl, you ain't no virgin. Okay. but but they come in like that. So they're very particular. Like imagine a virgin. Like imagine if you were dating somebody that was a virgin. Okay, imagine how that scenario would be. It'd be a lot of like trying to explain naive stuff. Naive is the word. A lot of naive stuff that you feel like you don't have to explain if you weren't a virgin. That's the Virgo. So like a Virgo is going to be super particular about your cleanliness, your neatness, your time management, everything you're doing, basically. Like if you don't have your shit on track, don't kick it with a Virgo. Okay? Because the only people that's going to be good with a Virgo are people that got they stuff tight, because the Virgo is going to get on your nerves because they probably don't have their stuff all the way tight, but they know what it takes to make it tight. And in their mind, they're in the process of that. So they looking at everybody else like you need to be on that process too. And so, and I've seen that. And then so like I just know that like Virgos, they can let their insecurities and like their lower self reflect out on how they see other people, make other people feel like there's a problem when there's really not. Very over analytical sometimes about emotional stuff, or introspection when introspection doesn't need to be there. So that's a little bit with Virgos. They also are really though about the same thing almost like Pisces, like me. Like they're really about, like changing humanitarianism and helping and loving, because Virgo is with Venus, and that's like the love planet. Like, okay. So they want the best, but it's like their process and insecurities can really hinder that, because it's like being insecure is a huge blockage. And it doesn't matter if you're the insecure shy or you're the rah, rah, rah insecure. Like it's a blockage. And a person that's outspoken and nitpicky, it's really easy to see through those type of people and notice that they're insecure. So just be aware of that. But other than that, Virgos are really loving and kind, and they want the best. They just see the world the way it should be in their eyes, and they just really wish that everybody would get on board. And, it is what it is. All right, Libra. So I was just talking to somebody about Libras, and I had know a lot of Libras. Obviously, we know a lot of people, so I'm gonna just keep saying I know a lot. But I I've met a handful, and they always leave me like a little empty. And when I say that, I mean like they're dope. Don't get me wrong. But it's like there's something left that makes me still feel like I haven't gotten all of them, or I still don't know all of them. Okay. And sometimes also Libra is very quiet, like when they're judging, because that's what they do. Okay. The Libra scales is all about judgment and balance. So throughout every experience that a Libra is having, they're judging and balancing it within themselves. And if they're not judging it within themselves, then they're noticing later they need to. So like a low vibrational Libra could have been for a while on autopilot, not noticing how their things were in balance. And then like once you hit like in your late 25ish, you're like boom, like whoa, like I'm starting to notice like this shit's not balanced, this is not balanced, this isn't right, like and then they start going into judge mode and super like expectation mode. And the thing with that is it can be good and it can be bad. The good part is a Libra is going to get to know their true, authentic self and what they truly resonate with and are balanced with. The negative to that is they can come up with a new idea of a tradition, kind of like Taurus, only this is not factual, or it's based off of their experience and it's not reality. Okay? So that's why you can have lots of different Libras out here. And it's just because it depends on what they aligned with and what they balanced with in their environment. It had nothing really to do with a Libra per se, but what resonated and balanced within their life for them. Because I've met a lot of Libras and they're not the same, but they're the same, if that makes sense. They handle and operate and do situations the same, but as far as like their actual personality, they're different because they're going to balance and resonate with whatever is in their exterior. Now, I know I'm going good. 35 minutes. This might be like almost an hour. Okay. We're on Libras. Now we're on Scorpios. Scorpios. So, Scorpios, another one of my brothers and sisters, water signs. You are that spicy water. Okay, kind of like I was telling you about Aries. Scorpios are a mess. Low vibrationally. Um, High vibrationally, still a mess. But in a good way. So let me break that down. A Scorpio is really about that danger side, that adventurous side, sexy, sleek, speak your mind side. But deep within the Scorpio is this whirlpool of emotion that kind of like is within them, but their exterior is everything presented, almost like a fire sign. But that whirlwind is so see-through. I don't know how to explain it. Not whirlwind, hurricane, whatever. I don't know. All that. I don't know. Water in their body. All this craziness. Whirlpool. Whirlpool. There we go. All that whirlpool is happening, and it's really actually see-through. Or maybe I'm just seeing through it because I do this stuff. But it's like you can tell that this is a water sign, and that is so sexy and hot. I don't know how to explain that. But it's like when you see a Scorpio, it's like you see a fiery being, but like you can see through that they're soft, like they got some tissue in there. I don't know how to explain it. And it's like that's the sexiest thing. So that's why they're really known for the genitals and the sexy, like, that side. Because it's like that, I don't know how to explain it, like that alchemy. And so when you connect with the Scorpio, you got to know that you're going to be tested with deaths. And it doesn't have to be a physical death, but a death of self, a transformation. You're not going to walk out of that situation the same. You're going to change some sort of dynamic about you after leaving that situation. And it doesn't even have to be a Scorpio, like the sign. It could be like you're a Scorpio moon. Well, if you're a Scorpio moon, that's a lot of emotion in a Scorpio. Like that's high sexual attraction, being on edge, lots of transformations emotionally that you're going to go through. A lot of karmic deaths. Okay, things that you're going to have to cut away. So these are all different things that Scorpios go through. And that's why I say, like, if you meet a low vibrational Scorpio, they're a mess. And it's because they're like at the lowest of the lowest in the sand, and they're like looking at all these it's like too much. They don't see clear what it is. And so that's something to really watch out for a Scorpio, because if they are vibrating low, if you can't lift them up, like don't mess their life up more. Like help them. If you can't help them, like you're better off leaving them alone, because that's only going to hinder them and make things worse and more confusing and make them not know which direction to go. All right. Sag. All right, so Sag. I have met a lot of Sages. For one, my mom's a Sag, my aunt's a Sag, my grandma's a Sag, my brother's a Sag. And I met a lot of other Sages, and what can I say? I've had a difficult time with Sagittarius. I'm not gonna lie. And one thing that I can say is they are very headstrong and they don't back down. And it doesn't have to be like a fight, because I've been in altercations where a Sagittarius could have fought me or could have done something and they punked out. And I'm a Pisces. So, um, I've seen it different ways. So it honestly is more about their headstrongness and their fake confidence or real confidence. It all depends on the Sag. So like the way I like to look at a Sag is you either load of baloney, like you're talking out your ass, sorry, or you're blowing smoke out your butt, or you're the real deal. That's the way I would like to call Sag. So, and then another thing about it is like, okay, so let's play that out. So a Sag can present themselves super confident, super sexy, got their stuff together, independent woman, right? Okay, and then they'll say like, I'm hard, I'm this, I'm that, like I ain't taking no smoke, like I'm this, and they can live up to that because they have those qualities. Don't get me wrong, like they have those qualities to be a warrior, to be strong, um, to 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 have expansion, to explore the world, to bring back new knowledge and stuff to people. They have all that. But the thing is, what they don't have is the ability to see when they're lacking it. And that's almost like the Aries. So this is a reoccurring thing, like I was telling you with the fire signs. Leo, with exception, like I said, sometimes a low vibrational Leo is possible, but for the most part, they're gonna get out of that quickly, like before they reach like their late 20s, they'll be out of it. Even if a Leo like has a little slip up, they're still going to be completely self-sufficient and independent, period. And they're going to travel, they're going to do whatever, nothing's going to hold them back. But with a Sag, opposite. Things will hold them back. Things will shatter, and they will be aware of it, but they will continue to actually do it. So, like, if you look at all three fire signs, you got Aries, who is confident, does their thing, but then like they might get slight backlash within themselves if something doesn't pan out how they thought. Then you've got Leo, who's always on top of it, and they want to make sure that they nip things in the butt as soon as they happen. And then you have Sag, that's more lax. They know, they see things, but they're more promiscuous, flirtatious, and they'll diddle daddly and play victim, even though they basically they basically allowed what they saw to happen and didn't try to correct it. So they're like Leo, as in they're kind of more advanced at seeing things before Aries, but the problem is with Sag and the Leo is the Sag will continue to embark on something that's not for them and not nip things in the butt, as in Leo will nip something in the butt completely because it will disrupt their being if things are not the way they're supposed to be. Okay. So I know that with Sag, and I know that another thing with Sag is it actually takes them a long time to really like to grow out of that promiscuity and to grow out of that um almost that naive confidence. Like I want to say like a Sag it takes them almost to like 40 years old. Like I'm not kidding you. Like I've literally met a few. Like and it takes like I've met grown women, like not even people I've had like problems with, but like other Sag women, and it's like, dude, like you're literally like 45, like going through stuff. Like that I'm going through at 25. I'm 26 now, but it was like that doesn't make sense to me. But then I look at the sign and I'm like, oh, you're a Sag. Like you this is you. Like your exploration might not even be travel right now. It's like down the rabbit hole. I don't know. So you can really get yourself there and be in denial. So watch out for that. But other than that, their Sages can be great people for like expansion, a great laugh. Uh, I don't want to be like that, but a great laugh, a great person to help remind you to live in the moment. Um, those things are like the biggest things that my mom really helped me realize, and to just like they can give advice on like loving yourself and all that too. But I feel like anybody can do that, but that's what my mom's done for me. But when I think about just Sages in general, I just want to say that like you can really do things. You can really like be that explorer and like make something of your life. It's all up to you not getting sidetracked. Okay. Cappies, Capricorns. All right, so Capricorns, I'm a Capricorn moon. I know so many Capricorns as well, and I'll tell you that they are definitely workaholics. They don't see anything wrong with that. I definitely am a workaholic as well. So I definitely understand that. But they are like workaholics and perfectionists, and things need to be so neat and orderly and structured the way they're supposed to. If you meet a low vibrational Capricorn, that is not the case. They can be the devil, period. And not just a workaholic, but like if they're not don't have a steady job, that's when you're gonna see a Capricorn dabble into things they shouldn't probably dabble into because they're panicking, they're frantic, okay? Just depending on circumstances, the way you were raised, what part of town you were brought in, whatever, okay? Rich, poor, working, all that stuff matters. Because if you grew up in like a trauma type of environment, Capricorn, and then you don't have any funds, you're not set up the way, you know what I'm saying? Now, a Capricorn, though, really will try to grab hold of every material thing they can to boost themselves back up. Like the first person that I think of that's like a Capricorn is LeBron James. So I read a story about how like he was in the fourth grade still living in a one bedroom apartment with his mom who had people come in and out every night. They were partying, drinking, and now today like he's worth so much and he's doing so much with his life. And it just like shows me like I've seen it over time. Like Capricorns are very successful, very headstrong about what they want to do. The only thing that I can really say about that is they are like a treadmill. And the problem with that is they can go, 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 go without getting tired, but they're not going anywhere. And I know a couple people are going to be like, I don't like you for saying that. And I'm sorry, but I've seen it too many times where like a Leo could get further than a Capricorn, even though like they're working like really hard, both of them, but like a Capricorn is a workaholic and he's like that's what he does. He's about the material world and the material gain. And but he could be working so much, but because he doesn't truly maybe know all his goals, he or she know where they want to go at that moment, they'll stay in the same place. But they'll work the hell out of that place. They will put in 1,000,000% in that place. And the only thing with that is like, but will they grow in that place? Will they, become something in that place? And that also steers Capricorns away from marriage and a family. Um, Capricorns are very loyal, trustworthy partners, but they're known to take a long time to decide if they want to be with somebody. Also, they can be known to just put relationship on hold so that they can pursue their financial endeavors. Like money's on their mind. Period. Like, and if you don't come with something that's gonna help with that, like Capricorns love a woman or a man that's gonna assist them with their financial gain And so, like, if you don't come with that, you're basically hindering them from pursuing their dreams. That's the way they look at it. And so I just like to keep that in my frame. All right, so I don't really want to go over an hour. So I got 50 right here, 50 minutes. So I just did Cappies. So I just got Aquarius and Pisces, and we done. Cool. Okay, so Aquarius. My dad's an Aquarius, and I have a friend that's an Aquarius. They're the type of people that like do not want to be in the crowd. And they think it's super lame to be in the crowd. They're their own being, their own person. Like why would I want to be like you? They know how to, they're very wise, very wise. Like they can see something and see right through it and know exactly for what it is. Not on an emotional level, like myself as a Pisces, but like on a logical frame level. Like, no, that's what that is. And you be like, Dad, that took me 3 years to know what that was. And I'm not playing. Like, it could be something just like that. It could be like even a relationship dynamic. And it's like, it's immediately when you talk to them, boom, they know the whole dynamic. You be like, bruh, like I'm still in this situation. Like I'm 5 years in, you hear me? And that's what I love about them. They're the one thing though that has been really tough is just the emotional detachment. And I'm only saying this because as you learn about your sign, please know that if you got kids or you have a lover or anybody that you care about, they got a different sign than you. And if you can understand them and their love language and how they are, then we can better coexist. And so the only thing that I can say about an Aquarius is I had a hard time with an Aquarius as a father because the emotions were so detached. And as a Pisces, I needed that emotional attachment. I needed that love and affection. And I didn't get that. It was very rough um, as far as like the tone of voice and always picking on me about different things. And I think the biggest thing that I realized is Aquarius are just, they see the way the world is. They can observe something and make an accurate judgment or prediction based off of what they've seen. They don't have to be involved in the experience. And so they're used to being detached and being an observer. And therefore, when you try to connect with one, it can be very difficult because they are not going to give you all of that. You know, sometimes you can be left in conversations bleak, just completely like what, where was that going? Or so that's something to be aware of, Aquarius, because like I just told you with me, if you have a child or you have a partner or something, being aware of your own actions and what you do is going to help because you don't talk much, you don't say much, you're very much to yourself. So people are inferring and making predictions on you. And if you don't like that, then you should try to be open more. You should try to express yourself more. I don't know if you want to, but I'm just saying. Also, Aquarius, just if they are vibrating high, they're on fire. Like they're not only logical, but they're business oriented people and they're moving very strategically in the way they're supposed to. Um, they can be head of different businesses and corporations and they like being in charge and they would probably do well with another sign that is like that too. Either Aquarius or a Gemini or somebody that is logical. Probably another air sign or a Libra. All right. So that's Aquarius. And lastly, we're going to do Pisces. And I think that will be the whole hour. So, like I said, I'm a Pisces and I'm going to try my hardest to just say what I've observed and not, you know, try to speak too much on myself. Um, Pisces are very emotional beings, and the reason why I believe we're so emotional is because we're experiencing a lot of psychic and clairvoyant type of things like all at once. We're very empathic to where we can feel someone else, and that can be very, very stressful because if you don't aren't fully aware of it, you'll start being a victim, and you are actually self-sabotaging yourself because you are not a victim. You are putting yourself in situations that make you feel like a victim, or you're over analyzing because you feel it so much. And now you're making it about you when it wasn't about you. I cannot express how many times like I was not aware that I was doing something until three people, I think it was my dad, my best friend, and my son's dad, said to me with all like within the same time frame. Like they would say like I'm always talking about something, and then you chime in and think that I'm talking about you, and then you start making the whole situation about you. And I just was like, and how you feel, and I was like, whoa, like do I do that? And it took three people to say that for me to actually recognize in myself. Like sometimes you don't recognize, you not 10 steps ahead, you not proactive, but like it took that time to recognize and sense it before I spoke it. And that changed the dynamics of everything. So one thing that like I really, 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 really want to talk about is just making sure that you're aware of your sign, aware of like the role that it plays in this whole big thing. Um, us, like I said, with myself as a Pisces, just being aware of your own emotions and your own thoughts and balancing that out with logic will really, really help. Understanding that you can't help everybody, especially if you have not helped yourself. I'm going to just say that right there. As a Pisces myself, have that self love, love yourself entirely, because through that, then you'll be able to have the life that you want and have that clear headedness, and you'll be more successful. That's just speaking truth, because Pisces sometimes have to find something to hold on to in this world. And I think that's the problem. Like, do not become that churchgoer all the way here. Don't become that person that's a martyr. Be balanced. You have to be balanced. You cannot allow yourself to be completely consumed in this world or be of service completely to this world, because it's not your birthright to be completely of service. That's why we're moving out of the age of Pisces and into the age of Aquarius, okay? So that's enough of my Piscesness. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and it was just basically a rundown of all the zodiac signs. I don't have anybody that comes on here and says the time for each thing, but you can definitely skip through this, obviously, through the video, replay, read some more, listen to more stuff that I said. But I hope you enjoyed it. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Please just let me know what you think. If you're curious about one of the things that I said, please comment, okay? Because I want to know what you got to say about it, because I love playing devil's advocate, as you guys know. So thank you very much, and lots of love, light, and peace.